Hello BookTube, hello friends, welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and in this video I'd like to share with you my July TBR. So I started out the summer saying that each month of the summer, June, July, and August, I was going to have a different focus, and within that I was going to focus on series books. So for the month of June, I focused on middle grade series, and I sort of extended my middle grade May TBR, and I focused mainly on finishing some middle grade series and then making progress in a couple of other series. So for this month, I am still working on a couple of middle grade series, but they're going to be comfort reads. I have a few dystopian middle grade series that I'd like to finish by the end of the year that I didn't get to in May or June, but I'm going to save those for September and October. So for the month of July, I'm going to focus on comfort reads and primarily some adult series that I've either started or want to start or want to finish or whatever. And then also during this month, I have a few book club books to read and a couple of middle grade books, like I said, but they're going to be more on the comfort side of things. And then a few cozy mysteries and just, several things like that. I am going on a trip to North Carolina with our church group. I do hope to get a little bit of reading done. I'm going to be driving my own car, so I'm going to be listening to some audiobooks along the way. And hopefully I'll get a little bit of reading done while we're there too. Although we're going to be pretty busy, so I don't know, maybe early in the morning if I can get up before all the kids do. So let's just get started. Now, I first want to show you the series books that I am planning to read from. I have several series that I would consider comfort reads that I would love to finish this year or at least make progress in, and a couple that I'd just like to start. So let's see what they are. Now, the first one I have at the top of the stack is a series that I love dearly, and I have been stalled out on it for a while because I couldn't find the next one, which is book 15, on audio, but I found it on Scribd. I think all of these are on Scribd, and I'm so excited because now I can get back to it. It's the Miss Julia series. I'm on book 15, Miss Julia's Marvelous Makeover, and I may go right on and listen to the next one, which is Etta Mae's Worst Bad Luck Day. And if I have time, I'll go ahead and read some more too. I don't know. I have several of these on my shelf. You probably can't see. It's on the shelf right here. And I'm not even sure how many more there are. There's at least 20, maybe. I don't think there's 25 of them yet. But I really need to catch up on this series. I love Miss Julia and ultimate in comfort reads for sure. So then another series that I would consider definite comfort reads is anything by Miss Reed, primarily the Fairacre series, and I am ready for book 5, which is Over the Gate. Now, I did skip over book 5 last December, and I read book 6, which was a Christmas book. Thankfully, it didn't have anything to do with the regular characters that we have met already in the series. So now I'm ready to get back to the main Fairacre series, and I'm super excited to read Over the Gate. And I have this wonderful old edition, and I'm excited. So then another series that definitely would be considered a comfort series is the Cape Light series by Thomas Kincade. I believe Donna from Paradonna Palimpsest is also planning to read this summer. So we're doing an actual buddy read on a couple of other books, and this one is just one that we're both going to be reading, so it'll probably kind of turn into a buddy read too. But this is book 4 in the Cape Light series. It's called A New Leaf, and this is the last one in the series that is not specifically centered around Christmas. All of the other books in the series are Christmas books, so I'd like to get this one read before Christmas so that I can then start the Christmas books when it gets to be Christmas season. And then another series that I would consider comfort reads because they're so humorous and so funny is the Harmony series by Philip Gulley. I have, I think, 3 left to read, but I would love to get to, both of these this month. Even just if I could get one of them read, that would be great. I think the next one, I've already lost track of which one's which. I believe Life Goes On is number 4. This is where I am in the series. And then Change of Heart is number 5, right? Did I say that right? Yes, number 5, Change of Heart. I have one left after that to finish this series, Almost Friends. I would love to get this series finished this year. Then he has a spin-off series called Hope, and those can wait till next year, and I'm excited to get to all of these, but my goal is especially to finish the Harmony series by the end of the year. So then, let's see. I have another buddy read with my sister. We're going to read book 2 in the Candlewood trilogy by Delia Parr. This is Refining Emma. And we buddy read the first one a couple months ago and loved it. And I'm super excited to get to this. Another series I had wanted to buddy read with her, but she read it without me. She said she'd be willing to read it again. And this is on my 20 by 20 challenge as a series I wanted to start and finish during this 3-year period. And I haven't even started it yet. It's a 5-book series by Lori Copeland and Angela Hunt. I hear it's about angels, and my sister said she loved it. And this first book is called The Island of Heavenly Days. It's a 5-book series. It is a Christian series, and I would love to get to this one in July as well. So then I have a couple of cozy mysteries. One that Donna and I are going to buddy read. Now, Donna is Paradonna Palimpsest. I have 2 different buddy read partners for this month. My sister, her name is Charla, and then Donna, who may comment to your videos if you've ever seen her in my comments. Her channel name is Paradonna Palimpsest. Anyway, she's been working to catch up with where I am in the Aunt Dimity series, which wasn't hard because I haven't read one in a while. But I am ready for book 6, I think, or 7. And yes, book 7, and so is she. So we are going to read Aunt Dimity Detective, and this will be read this month. Another one I have on my list that I've been wanting to get to, Death Threads by Elizabeth Lynn Casey. This is book 2 in the Southern Sewing Circle mysteries. The name doesn't really sound like it's a comfort read, but it is a cozy mystery series. I really loved the first one, and it's been forever since I read that. And this is a series that's on my 20 by 20 challenge. It's one of the few cozy mystery series that I started out on my list of 14 series I wanted to read from in this 3-year period. I'm down to like two and maybe 3 series that I haven't read from at all, and this is one of them. So I need to get something read in this series before the end of the year. So this is it. Okay, now I mentioned that I had a couple of middle grade comfort reads that I had on my list for middle grade May and for June. I didn't get to. A couple of them are standalones, but then I have a couple of series that I'd like to go ahead and at least make some progress in. One is the Charlie Joe Jackson series. I have started this today on audio in my car. It is Charlie Joe Jackson's Guide to Extra Credit by Tommy Greenwald. I have books 2 and 3 checked out from the library. The library doesn't have this on audio, so I probably won't get to this one because I've had them checked out now since May, I guess, and I need to get them checked back in. This one is just 3 discs, and so I'm listening to it right now so that I can get it turned in before I leave for North Carolina. So this one will at least check the series off my list in that I can say I made progress during my 20 by 20 challenge, and I'll be happy with that. Now, another middle grade series that was not on my 20 by 20 challenge, but I started thinking about this again for a couple of reasons. I bought this first book last year sometime. It's The Homecoming by Cynthia Voigt, and I really love this cover. Most of the covers I've seen look like this, which is the sequel, Dicey Song, and I just don't like this cover at all. If I can find a nice hardcover edition of Dicey Song that would match this edition, I would snatch it up. But it got me to thinking about this series and how good it is, and I'm getting ready to do my Newbery video featuring Newbery winners of the 1980s, of which this is one, Dicey Song. And I remembered that I had forgotten that there was a lot more books in the series that I have never read. I've only ever read these 2. So I found this one from the library. This is a Newbery Honor book. This is book 3, A Solitary Blue, in the same series. The series is called the Tillerman Cycle, and it's about the Tillerman family. So I have all of these now, and I love these so much that I'm going to listen to these again. I found this one on Scribd, I think. No, I didn't. I have this one and this one are on Scribd on audio. I checked this one out from my library on CD, and I'm going to take it on the trip and listen to it in the car on the way there. I just remember loving this series. It's about a family of children whose mother just basically abandons them, and the two older ones they're old enough to, they're still kids, but they're old enough to use their resources and do what they need to do. So they make their way across the country to their grandmother's. They don't even know if the grandmother will take them in, but they have to go somewhere. So this is their story of making their way across the country, or at least across the state. It's a pretty good distance to their grandmother's. And I'm just gonna go ahead and listen to this again, and listen to this again, and then listen to this for the first time. There's 7 books in the series, and my public library doesn't even have all of them, but I'll worry about that when I get to the next one. For now, I'm just gonna start over with the series, and I'm gonna savor it. And then another middle grade series that's not a comfort series, but I restarted it back in May, and I just yesterday finished book 3 on audio. Really enjoyed it. I've got one more book in the series. It's a post-apocalyptic series, but not what I'd consider dystopian. Well, you could. I don't know. But it's not like Hunger Games or anything. But it's such a good series. And it's by Jean Dupro, sorry. And it is The City of Ember. That's the series. I'm ready for the last one, Diamond of Darkhold. I just finished Prophet of Yonwood, and this is the last one. And I have it checked out from my library on CD. I'm going to listen to it right now these first 3 days of July so that I can turn it in before I leave. It's not very long. It's like maybe 5 discs, so maybe 6. I don't know. I can get it done, and that will finish this series for me. Then let's see what else. A couple of other middle grade books or children's books that are kind of on the back burner, but if I can get to them, I will. They're all on audio. Actually, this one I did go ahead and check out on Hoopla, The Railway Children by Edith Nesbit. So at some point this month or within the next 3 weeks, I will listen to that. And then I believe these are on audio. I think one of them's on Hoopla, but they're also on RB Digital, The Swiss Family Robinson, and The 5 Little Peppers and How They Grew. So these are just kind of there if I want to listen to them, if I have time to get to them. The thing is, I love to listen to audiobooks. That's usually how I get most of my reading done. And about half of the books I want to read of the 32 books I have picked out are print books. So I know that I'm not going to be able to get to that many print books. So in order for me to stay on my track of a book a day for the whole year, I'm going to have to pick up some others on audio that are not necessarily high priority, but because I know that I'm not going to get all of these read in print. Okay, then another series that I started last year. It's not on my 20 by 20 challenge, but when I was thinking about summertime reads and comfort reads, I remembered that last year I started The Beach House by Mary Alice Monroe. I read the first book and the second book called Swimming Lessons. And so I found book 3 on my library shelf here on CD, and it is Beach House Memories. I think this series has 5, so I'm going to at least get one more done this year, and so I'm excited about that. The best way I can describe this to you, at least the first 2 were about turtles. I'm going to assume that the next one's probably about turtles, but in some different capacity. I don't know. The first 2 were really good, and I would recommend them. And then I have another book that I checked out on Hoopla because I was trying to use up my borrows, and lately I've been thinking about Jeanette Oak and how I would really like to reread some of her books, and I noticed this is a book that I have not read. It's by her and her daughter, Laurel Oak Logan, Dana's Valley, and it says this is a book of hope, so it is a little different than her other pioneer type series, and I'm looking forward to it. I did check it out from Hoopla, and I will be listening to that sometime this month. Then I have a couple of, well, let's see. I have my lists. You know, I started out the year saying I had like all these different lists, and if I could just read one a month of all these lists, then I would get all my reading goals accomplished. Well, that's not working too great for me. I have managed to maintain a few of the lists, but not all of them, because I tend to do these themed months where, it's just not conducive to read from all these different lists if I'm doing a theme. So the list that I have been able to keep up with, though, I have the series of unfortunate events, and I'm committed to finishing this by the end of the year. So now I'm ready for book 8, which is The Hostile Hospital. And also, I have been reading from my TBR jar, at least one per month. And I have one left of the nonfiction books that I last drew out of my TBR jar that I drew over a year ago, and I finished one last month, so I have one left, and I'm excited to get this one read, and then I can draw some more, and I'm not going to draw as many next time. But the one I have left to read is How to Behave So Your Children Will Too, a collection of entertaining stories and practical ideas gathered from real parents, and it's by Sal Severe, PhD. So I started that this morning. I'm going to read 1 or 2 chapters a day until I get that done, and I'm excited that I'm going to get that done. Then I have some book club books. This month we are reading Finding Dorothy by Elizabeth Letts. I have this checked out on RB Digital. I'm going to be listening to this. And for my mystery book club, we are reading, actually I've already finished that one. The one we're reading for this month, no, did I? Yeah, for July, we're reading the first Stephanie Plum book by Janet Ivanovich. I had read that before, and I listened to an abridged version in June, so it's one for the money, so I don't have to worry about that. But I'm going to go ahead and read ahead for, I guess, August. It's A Plain Death by Amanda Flower. This is the first in the Appleseed Creek Mysteries. I don't know how cozy this is. This cover doesn't look as cozy as some, as most of your average cozy mystery covers. It sure doesn't look like the candy shop mysteries, the Amish candy shop. So I don't know how cozy this is going to be, but this is what we're reading. And then, speaking of book club, I never finished last month's mystery book, which is All the Missing Girls by Megan Miranda. I have had it checked out on CD from my library. I got about half done, but it just kept skipping in my car. Finally, I brought it in the house and I restarted it today. It's 8 discs, so I think I can get it done and get it turned in before we leave so that I can check this one off my list, because I definitely want to get that finished. And then I think my last one is not a comfort read or anything, but we just bought it. It's a brand new book. I forgot to show it in my book haul. I kind of got it for Katie. She's going to be reading it. I think she's going to take it on the trip. And I have it checked out from Hoopla. I checked it out last month and I didn't get to it, but I am going to listen to it this month. And it is the newest in the Hunger Games saga, which is a prequel story. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. This is about President Snow or his ancestor. I don't even know. And I'm excited. I'm excited to start this. Now, Katie, the day we went to Books A Million and bought this, she came home and pulled out her Hunger Games trilogy and started rereading it. Now she's halfway in the middle of the second book now. And she goes, I'm going to reread these before I read this one. I said, you don't need to, because it's a prequel. It doesn't matter. She goes, no, I just want to. I want to reread them. So that's what she's doing. She's trying to finish rereading those before we go on our trip. And she's a fast reader. And then she'll have this in the car or in the van, to take on the trip. So I think that is everything that I have picked out that I have physical copies of. I have actually one more. This is not even on my Goodreads TBR yet, but when I was about to come in here to film, I thought, oh, I need to read this quickly and send it to my sister. It's called Every Quilt Has a Story. It's kind of just a little storybook type book, and it's by Nancy E. Mink, Timeless Tales of Friendship and Faith. And I just thought about it because when I was at my library book sale the other day, I found another little inspirational quilt themed. It's an inspirational book with a quilt theme. I already had a copy of it, and I texted my sister to see if she had it, and she said no. So I'll show you that in my Christian book haul whenever I do that one before I send them to her. So I'm going to send that and this to her. Her birthday's in August. So Charla, spoiler, you're getting this for your birthday. but there'll be some other stuff that you haven't seen. So, maybe. I hope I haven't shown it all to you. Anyway, what else? Oh, let me just look at what I have here on my list. I know what I forgot to tell you. One of the big things that I'm going to be reading and buddy reading with Donna from Paradonna Palimpsest is Sarah's Quilt by Nancy Turner. This is book 2 in the trilogy, The Diary of Sarah Agnes Prine. I hope I got that right. The first book is These Is My Words, and we buddy read that a couple months ago. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I would like to go ahead, Donna, if you're up for it, I would like to go ahead and finish Sarah's Quilt and move on into book 3, The Star Garden, and go ahead and just get both of those read because I know they're going to be wonderful. Another book I checked out from Hoopla, The Solid Grounds Coffee Company. Probably can't really show you a picture. It's kind of dark. I don't know if you can see that. It is by Carla Lariano, and it is from the Saturday Night Supper Club series. It's book 3. I've read the first 2. I've listened to them on audio. The first one is called The Saturday Night Supper Club. The second one is Brunch at Bittersweet Cafe. These are foodie and they're Christian. So if that sounds good to you, then you might want to check those out. They are on Hoopla on audio. And I'm going to start a few of the Sunshine State books for this coming school year. And I don't have any of them, so I'm not even going to worry about showing you any of those. But I have 3 of them checked out right now from Hoopla, and a few more that I put on hold on Overdrive. And one of them is a graphic novel, so that's cool. I checked out the ebook of that. And as I'm able to get those, I'll show them to you in physical form. If you want to look at the list, I will do my best to remember to leave a link below to the new list. There's 15 of them, and those are basically the Sunshine State Young Reader Award finalists, and it's basically a reading list for middle schoolers for this coming school year. And I have been reading those for several years now, so I want to read those. All right, so that is about it for what I have picked out for my comfort reads. I know only about half are technically comfort reads, and the other half are either middle grade or book club or books from my list or books from my 20 by 20 challenge or whatever. I tried to do as many comfort reads as I could, and I wanted to save the ones that were romance because next month is going to be the summer romance book bingo. And I was just talking to Sarah today, or messaging her, and there's going to be a 12 space bingo, 12 hosts, and each of the hosts get to pick a prompt. So I picked my prompt, and I am excited about that. I'm also going to be hosting some Instagram challenges. We're going to do a scavenger hunt, kind of like Di did for March Mystery Madness. And that's just a little sneak peek of what we're going to be doing for the Summer Romance Book Bingo, which is going to take place just in August for this year. So that is, that's August, but we'll get to that later. For now, this is July. So happy July, everyone. I hope you are having a great day, and I will see you soon. Read a good book, and God bless you.